Hello creatives, how are we doing? Hope you are doing fine. This is John of John Visuals. In this section of church flyer design, we'll be looking at how to create this church flyer design. Without wasting much of your time, let's get started. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and tell your other friends that are also creatives that you are enjoying a premium knowledge. All right, let's get started. The file I used here, the size of the file I used here is 4 by 5 inches. Is a portrait kind of flyer, kind of size I used here. So let's get started. The first thing I have to do here, I'm not going to make use of any gradient fill. I'm not going to be using gradient fill, that solid color or gradient fill. So what I will do here is first I'll get my first background. I'll get the first background that was used here. All right, so this is the first background I used here. And what I actually want us to do, I want us to tell a bit of story. The theme of the short flyer we are creating is come up hither. So I want to create a story, a background. I want to create a background that tells the story of the theme of the program. So the next thing I will do, I will expand this step. So I'll click my OK. I'll get the second image that was used. Okay, this, I'll get this. Okay, this is what I'll do. I'll reduce the size. And the reason I'm reducing this size, I want to actually tell a story that a man is coming up hither. He's going to the mountain to pray. That is the idea or the concept behind the creation of this church flyer background. So I will press OK. I'll select on the layer, the add layer max. Go to my brush tool. My foreground color, I will change it to black. So I want to clean out some parts of this area. So I'll reduce my brush a little. I'll leave the flow at 30. So I'll begin to fade. I'll begin to remove or brush out the area that are not needed. The only thing I wanted there is just to show the man walking on the staircase. And I have to be very, very careful to blend the background of the two images. I have to blend it well. I'm using my brush to blend it. So it looks as if he's already walking on the staircase, like what we have here. All right, this is perfect. This is perfect. So I will take it a bit up. The next thing I will do here, I will get the mountain. I will get the mountain. So I want the mountain to be behind the staircase. I'll select my mountain. This is the mountain that was used. Okay, what I will do now is I will take the mountain behind the stair. I will increase it. I will increase the size of it. Remember, come up hither talks about a man going to the mountain to pray. That is the concept behind it. So I will take this mountain behind. We have something like this. So what I will do here is I'll click on this first background, this one here, add a new layer mask, and then use my brush tool to fade off the part that I don't want. So I will increase my size a little bit, my brush a little bit. Okay. So have something like this. Okay. Yes, we are heading somewhere. This is more like a photo manipulation, trying to blend two or more backgrounds. The next thing to do here is I also want to tell a story outside the man going to the mountain to pray. I also want to tell a story of some persons praying at the background. I will select a picture. I will select one of them. I will take this first. I will reduce the size of this very image. I'll reduce the size of it. I'll reduce the size. Now I'll take it towards this edge, towards this top right side of our bag. So let's check a blending mode, screen overlay. Okay, let's use overlay. The overlay still makes it show. So all I have to do, I'll take this up. I'll take it up. So I'll add my layer mask, go to my brush and fade off or remove the parts I don't want. I only just want to show the lady praying. Okay, we are good to go. So the next thing I will do here is to get another image and place at the left top side of our background. So this is another image I used here. I will equally reduce the size of it, then take it up here. Somewhere here is okay. I'll change this very image to overlay. I'll add a new layer, select my brush. Now this time around, remember the previous tutorials will be making use of gradients to blend, but this time around I'm not using gradient, I'm using brush, because brush 2 will actually give me what I need. So I'm not using gradient 2 here to blend images. Instead I'm using brush 2 to do that. All right, so let's say the next thing to do here is we have another picture here, the picture of this dove, the picture of the dove. So this is the picture that was used. So I will increase the size of it a bit, increase the size of it, then take it towards this area. I will click OK. So I will check a blending mode that can actually give me what I want. All right, the blending mode that gave me what I wanted is a screen. So I'll bring it. So I'll bring it behind the image of the walking man. I'll select my brush tool, fade off the side that are not needed. Take the side that is not needed, I'll take it off. Let me increase the size a little. All right, we have something like this. Okay, let me check the blending mode we used during the course of this. So let me check the blending. So screen was used, so we are heading to somewhere. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share with your friends. All right, so we have something like this. Next thing we will do, let's group them and call it background. I'll press Ctrl G. So I'll call this background. Okay, the next thing to do here is I start bringing I have this big touch here. So let's add it and blur. It's part of the background. So I'll import this big touch. Remember, like I always tell us, the placement of your elements matters a lot. How you place your elements matters a lot. Okay, so we have something like this. So I will have to blur this. I'll blur by going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'll leave it as 15. I'll press OK. So let's do another thing here. So the next thing to do here is to bring our image. Before we bring our image, we have to, like, I when I was creating this flyer design, I actually needed to tell a story using the background so that the targeted audience can easily relate. So I have to look for a way, because I want the targeted audience to see the background and connect it with the theme. So I have to look for a way to creatively place my elements, that is the images and the text, to create a balance. Balance is one of the principles of designing. It must be considered while doing this, while creating your flyer design. So I looked for a way that can show the image of the picture of this man here going up to the mountain to have an encounter. So I thought of it by placing the images by the side and placing Apostle's image at the other side to create this balance. All right, so let's take, okay, I'll take Apostle's image. I'll rotate this image. No? Yes, it's okay like this. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. Something like this is perfect. Okay, so I'll leave it. I'll bring it down. Our position, remember, like I told us last time, the arrangement of your element matters a lot. It matters a lot. How you creatively arrange your element matters a lot. Okay, so we have something like this. Something like this is better. Let me see. Okay, let me bring this a bit down. Something like this is okay. Let me take this man's picture up. Take the staircase, the step up. So we have something like this. Okay, so I'll take this up. The next thing I have to do, I want to put the images by the side. So all I have to do here is I'll use my rectangular shape to create a box. So I'll do something like this to create a shape. I've created a shape here. So what I will do, I'll select on this rectangular shape. I'll select it, right click, and then click on scale. I'll move it a bit up. Yes, a bit up. I'll move it a bit up. I'll click OK. So next thing to do, I'll duplicate this because I want to include 3 images of ministers. So I'll duplicate this. I'll duplicate again. Okay, this is okay. Next, now let's change the color of this. So I'll select my white. I'll double click on the thumbnail and select white background. I'll double click on this, select white background. All right, so we are heading to somewhere. The next thing I will do here is to bring the images. Sorry, before then, let me select this. Let me group these rectangular shapes by holding my shift and clicking on the image on the layer. Then I'll click on Ctrl G to group, and I will call this shape. So what I have to do now, I want to fade this side, the left side of it. I want to fade it. I'll add a layer mask. Then move to my gradient. Click on my gradient. I will start from the left and drag to the right. So I'll hold my shift key, click and drag to fade. Right. We have, okay, this is too much. I just wanted a little fading on it. Let's see. This is too much. Yes, something like this is okay. Something like that is okay. All right, the next thing to do here is to bring our images now. So bring our images. So let me get the image of the first minister. All right, in the main design, I used the well-known minister's image, but in this one, I'm using a stock image for this tutorial. All right, so I'll select this first one. I'll select the first. Let me drag it above. So I'll press Ctrl T to transform. I will increase the size of it. This size is okay. So what I will do here is to add a layer mask. Go to my polygonal laser tool and select this very polygonal laser tool. I'll click at the edges. Click at the edges. I want to remove the down part of this image. So I'll click, I've already selected the down part. I'll click on my brush tool. Now this time around, I'll select the hardness. I'll make the hardness to 100, leave my flow to 100. So this is what we have here. This is what we have. The next thing I will do is to get another image of the minister that was used. Okay, so I'll reduce the size of this minister. I'll reduce the size, and I will flip. I'll flip it. Yes, I'll flip it. So I'll take it up a little. Okay, this is okay. I'll still repeat the same step I did here I did it on the previous image. So this time around, I'll add the layer mask. Select my polygonal laser tool. Select the size, the places I want to delete, or I want to wipe off. So I'll use my brush tool to do that. I'll click on Ctrl D to remove that selected part. Okay, so we'll add another image again to this, and this is the final image we are adding here. So I'll reduce the size of it. Reduce the size of it. Bring it somewhere here. Repeat the same method, the same step that was used. Select my polygonal laser tool. Okay. All right. So I've done that. I'll select my brush tool. I will clean also. Okay, now this is fine. This is fine. We have something like this. Okay. The next thing to this we have this koinonia, this flag and the koinonia. But let's blend the lower part of it. Let's blend the down part. So for me to be able to blend this, let me group the images and I'll call them ministers. So I want to blend Apostle's image. I want to blend his image with the background. I will click on my adjustment layer, select gradient. So I will pick the color I will use here is, I will use red first. I will use a dark color of red. This is okay. So I'll move it. I'll move something like this. Something like this is okay. So I'll click on this layer mask here, select my brush tool, and then clean. Because I discovered that some part of the blend was covering the face of Apostle. Yeah, something like this is okay. But so something like this is okay. The next thing I have to do here, I added a layer. I added a layer here, a new layer. Then change the select my brush to change the foreground color to red, and then fade off this top part. I wanted to add a red color to the background, so I'll fade something like this. I'll right click and click on create clipping mask. So I have beneath it, I have a darker red, and above I have a light red. So next thing to do here is to, we have torn paper here, but we'll do this torn paper last. Let's get this very color. Okay, so I'll go to the place I still have. This is the flag here that was used. So I want to remove this white background. I want to remove the background. So let me rasterize it. I'll rasterize it. So go to my select, click on color range. Just select points on white. Click OK. It will select the parts that are white. I'll click on add layer marks to remove it. Now, this is what you have, but no need to panic. Just press Ctrl I to invert it. So we're having something like this. So looking at the edges, I'm having some fringes, some white outline. So I'll click on Control and click on the thumbnail of this very image to select it. I'll click on select, go to modify, click on contrast. I will leave it at 2. I'll click OK. So add a new layer mask. If you watch, we are having a better result than the previous one. So all I have to do is press Ctrl T to transform and then reduce the size of it. I'll take it up here. But there's something I wanted us to know. I'm having more of red here, a color. I'm having some color, but I want to get another color outside this thing we have here. So I will use hue and saturation to change the color of this flag by going to my adjustment layer, going to my hue and saturation. I will clip max it. I'll click on clip max. Then go to hue and change the color to purple. This is what, okay, let me reduce. Yeah, this is something we have. This is the color we have. So the next thing is to get the logo. Get our logo. Okay. This is the Koinonian logo. I'll reduce the size of it and take it up. But it's not contrasting. It's not contrasting because the logo is not showing. So all I have to do is to change the color. Change the color from the gold to white for better contrast. So I'll pick white for contrast sake, so that the people looking at the flyer can be able to see the logo without having to stress their eyes. All right, so we have something like this. The next thing I will do here is I'll create a paper, a torn paper below. I already have a torn paper on my brush, so all I have to do is just to click on a create new layer. I'll go to my brush. So I have a torn paper already. Let me, no, let's use 7. Let's use 7. So all I have to do is I'll increase the flow now to 100. So I'll just click here once. I've created a torn paper similar to what we have there. Okay, so the next thing to do here the next thing to do here is to start bringing our text. So I wouldn't want to waste our time, but before then, let me first of all convert these images, change them to, I'll leave the original color, I won't change, I'll just leave the colors. So let's start bringing our images. So to save our time, I'll just bring the images. I'll just bring the images. Sorry, I said I'll just bring the text to their proper position. So I have this theme. The theme is come up header. We have come up header. So this is the theme. This is the theme, come up header. I have to bring it to the center, come up header, take it up a bit. This is the theme here. So we have the next one we have is the mini stars. So I'll take this, I'll just click and drag. I'll put it below the come up header. I have to take it to the center. Take it to the center. Okay. So the next thing I'll do here is to get my date and time. So I have my date. This is my time. I'll move it towards this direction. Okay, sorry. Let's get our, okay, these are our dates. These are our dates. These are our dates. All right. Remember, like I do tell us, the placement of your element matters a lot when you are creating your church flyer design. The next thing is the time. So I'll select my time to move it to the other side to create a balance. What I'm actually looking, apart from making the design look nice, I need to find a way to create a balance on my design. Whenever you are designing, ensure that your design, they are properly aligned. So if I want to check the alignment of my design, I have to press Ctrl and then select my hyphen. I'll look at this. I'm going to count based on the boxes. I have my first box, second box at the top. So I'll bring my time close to the first one to touch the second box, the edge of the second box. I will do the same thing with my date to touch the second box. So this is okay. This is okay. So next one is time. Sorry, our location. Our location. So I have to get the location here. Okay, so this is our location. I'll select this, bring it down here. So Control T. I also ensure that it's at the center. Center. Okay, we are getting to somewhere. Next thing to do here is the names. The names. So I'm going to just use. Let me use the same names. Let me use the same names to save our time. Okay, so I'll click this, bring it to this side. Just want all of them to have the same name. I want all of them to have the same name. All right, so I'll bring this one down to this side. Bring this here. Bring this here. Okay, something like this is okay. Now the next thing to do here, so what I will actually do here is to try as much as possible to ensure that, okay, there is, all right, so okay, I forgot to fade off properly this. I needed to fade up the top edge. Okay, yes, I something was missing actually, so I had to correct that. Okay, we have our text, we have the time, we have the date, the people ministering, and the location. Next thing I will do here is I will have to add a little of length play. I have length play, so I'll add a little of length play to this. So I'll go to my file, place embedded. I'll go to the folder I have the resources for this tutorial. So I'll click on OK. The first thing to do here, first thing I want to do here is bookmarks. Okay, I will take this to the side of apostles. Then I will go to my blending mode and select screen. And select screen. Next thing I will do, I will get another lens flare, another lights. I will take it towards this edge. I will leave it there. I will press Ctrl J to duplicate. I will then bring it here, but this time around I will reduce the size of it. So something like this is okay. Something like this is okay. Let's see. Yes. Something like that is okay. All right, so the next thing to do here now, we already have, this is the general overview, general look of the design, but this is not where I would want to stop. I would want to color grade the design. After color grading, I'll move to camera raw filter to enhance the overall design. So let's quickly do the color grading. I will move to adjustment layer panel. I'll select on color balance. So this time around, I'm going to add red. I'll add a bit of yellow. Next, now I'll add to my shadow. I'll add red, little of red. I'll add blue to my shadow. So my light, since I have my length play, let's add a little of light. Highlights. So let me add let's add a little of red. Okay, so we'll move to color lookup. I'll make use of tree stripe. I love using this tree stripe because it helps me get that color grading I actually want to use. So I'll leave the opacity at 30. Next thing to do here is I'll go to my photo filter. Let's check the photo filter that was used here. The photo filter that was used here is the underwater. So I have the intensity 20, opacity 44. So let's select underwater. I have the density at 20. I'll have the opacity at 44. Okay, having something like this now, let's create an invisible stamp layer, take the overall design to camera raw filter and make an adjustment to the design. So I'll click on to be able to convert this to an invisible stamp layer. I'll press Ctrl Shift. So I have to create an effect. I'll press Ctrl Shift Alternate A. Ctrl Shift Alternate E. So I'll convert this to smart objects. Convert to smart objects. And this is where I have to move. After converting to smart objects, I have to move it to my camera raw filter by pressing Ctrl Shift A. Ctrl Shift A. So it's taking us to the camera raw filter where we have to sharpen it. So let's start by sharpening this. Let's leave the sharpening to 70. Let's increase a little of the exposure to 10, contrast to 9, highlight a little. Let's add a little light highlights to it. We'll have to bring our shadow. Let's reduce our shadow small a little. Then take this, increase our whites a little. Bring our shadow to our black to -5. Then texture, I want to add a little bit of detail.